Welcome to the Beginner Photography Podcast with your host, Raymond Hatfield. The photography podcast dedicated to helping you grow by answering your photography questions every weekday. Email Raymond at beginnerphotographypodcast@gmail.com to get your photography questions answered. Now, let's get into today's question.
All right, let's get into today's question.
So this one's from Nick from the new Beginner Photography Podcast Facebook group.
What? All right.
If you aren't part of that, go ahead and add that one on Facebook because we know everybody has Facebook.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Shoot. Who doesn't have Facebook right now?
Dude, losers. That's rude.
My grandma.
Yeah,
Wait,
your grandma. Your grandma's
Is my
not a
grandma
loser.
a loser?
She's not. She just has no need for Facebook, so it makes sense for her.
You're right. She'd be confused.
Yeah, she was. Okay.
Okay. Well, Nick, his question
He's not confused.
from the Facebook group.
Yes.
Is there really a big difference between a cheap tripod and an expensive tripod? I'm wanting to get into shooting water and stars, so a tripod is necessary. I've been looking at reviews and videos which have made me weary of anything under $70, but still am having a hard time justifying a tripod in the $150 to $200 range. Any guide light here? So you're telling me I've never YouTubed this, and I watch a lot of YouTube videos. There are YouTube reviews on tripods?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's YouTube reviews on everything. Everything. There's YouTube reviews on like
over
kids' candies.
20,000 videos about a tripod.
20,000? I mean,
That's a pretty low number on a YouTube scale.
yeah, I don't know if it's 20,000, but there's a good you could waste a few days just watching nothing but tripod review videos for sure. Yeah.
What do they do? Like try to kick it over, and they're like, "Oh, it didn't kick over." Worked. Stamp of approval from the tripod guy.
In one sense or another, yeah, that's what they do. By the way, the podcast is not affiliated with the tripod guy, like Paul mentioned right there. So,
I'm sorry, tripod guy, if I insulted you.
Yeah.
I did not mean anything by it. Please continue to listen to the podcast.
So yeah, tripods are a huge thing because, as you know, you can go to like Walmart and buy yourself a tripod for a camera. Right?
Okay, before we get to the next question.
Yeah.
Maybe this will answer next question. Explain to me how a tripod can be bad.
Oh, good question. Very easily, right? So when it comes to building a tripod, and I'm going to use the car analogy here because that's how you and I speak a little bit.
We use that one a lot.
We do. Okay. So what is the difference? Yeah. What is the difference between a let's see. What's the difference between a base model, I don't know, Accord, and then they're like top end fully loaded Accord? They're both Accords. What's the difference?
The features inside the Accord?
Features, possibly build quality as well.
No.
Wait. Sometimes there's like better seats, right? Like upgraded
That's a comfort. Okay, so like I would say probably the basic Accord is a 4-banger, while the top of the line might be a 6.
Oh yeah, it's got that 6 in it. You know it does.
Okay,
Okay,
it has a clear coat.
Okay, so maybe
Inside,
maybe
obviously, it'll be
build
leather.
quality wasn't the best example for using for a car for the same model. But when it comes to tripods, that is a huge thing because, as you can imagine, you can put together a tripod with like anything.
All right, let's scrap the car analogy.
Here's
Just
a tripod
get me
right here.
straight.
Right, this thing's made out of
Ray has a
plastic.
tripod in his hand.
It's teeny
That thing
tiny.
looks legit.
Well, this is great. Okay, this is great because of its size.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's weighted down at the bottom, which is good.
How much does the thing weigh?
How much does it weigh? Oh, I don't know. Maybe
Throw a number out there.
Maybe 2 pounds. Like, it's pretty hefty. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's because it's weighted at the bottom, right? And the point of that is that a camera's pretty heavy in itself, but this is a very small tripod. If you put a large camera on top, it's going to be top heavy and it can easily move around. Okay. So
Just so everybody knows what we're talking about, because not everybody watches on YouTube.
It's very true.
That small tripod from the bottom to the top of the camera, how many inches?
Fully out, 6. Oh, from the top of the camera?
Your hand isn't that big. Come on.
Probably 8 to 10.
12 inches.
Okay, sure. We'll go 12 inches.
No, I know it's 12 inches.
Okay, yeah, sure. There we go, 12 inches. So, like I said, when you have like a 2-pound camera and it's sitting on the top of this pole, essentially, that's a foot tall, we'll say, it's going to be very top heavy. And what Nick is trying to do here is he's trying to take, he says, photos of water and stars, which means that he's taking long exposures. Okay, so the camera has to be perfectly still for a full 30 seconds. Up to, a minute,
30
10 minutes.
seconds?
Yeah.
Are you serial?
You can't even touch it. You cannot even touch it.
I didn't know the exposure was that long for stars.
If you look at my photo, my cover photo on my Facebook, the one that you commented on, and you're like, how did you take this photo?
I didn't do that.
You definitely did. And if anybody wants to see...
my Facebook was hacked. Did I not tell you?
Oh, yeah.
My Facebook was hacked.
To know how I took a photo.
I see.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense. That photo's of stars, and it's me standing in it, and that photo is a 30-second exposure, or it's very close to 30 seconds.
Stood there for 30 seconds?
I did. I had to.
And didn't move?
As little as possible. And that is where having a nice wide angle helps out a lot, because it doesn't pick up as much movement. But the point is that having the sturdy tripod is super important for things like that, because you can buy like a cheap, mainly plastic tripod from Walmart, and if it doesn't weigh anything, there's going to be nothing to hold it in place, right? It's going to be like moving and swaying, and it's just like cheap build quality. It might sag a little bit, and
it'll sag within 30 seconds.
Oh, totally, potentially. I wouldn't rule it out. The point is that the tripod that you buy at any like big box store is literally just going to be something to say that you have a tripod. It's literally the worst thing ever. Okay, so what Nick is asking is
literally the worst thing
literally
ever. Thanks,
I
Walmart.
believe that. So what Nick is looking at is tripods in the $70 to like $200 range, right? He doesn't want to spend more than $150 to $200. He finds it hard to justify that price. But here's the great thing about tripods, okay? You only got to buy one. You only got to buy it once. Okay? When you buy a camera body, like my camera, brand new, I don't know, $2,500. Woohoo! All right, excited.
Goodness.
I'm gonna go
Good
out
for you.
Shooting this thing. I'm loving it. 5 years from today, I'm gonna be like, oh, that old piece of garbage? No, man. Like I don't even want that anymore. $2,200, totally depreciated down to nothing within 5 years, right? When it comes to a tripod, you spend $200 on it, and you got it for like 10, 20, 30 years. Right? If it's a really good tripod, I've technically.
You have a tripod for 20 years?
I've technically never purchased a tripod, because remember when we were in high school and I bought my Canon XL1S video camera?
I do remember that.
It came with a tripod. Where is it? I don't have it. It's in the
And
garage.
we never used it.
Oh no. We didn't use it back then. That's totally fine. I totally understand that. But I still use that thing to this day because it is so good.
And we tried to make like CKY style videos.
Yeah. I mean, it had the handle on top of the camcorder. I was just like, oh, I'll just hold. Yeah. Anyway,
CKY.
My point is that I bought that thing used back in 2005, and I've never had a reason to upgrade to a newer tripod, because it works. It works great, and like the design is just like thought of with the user in mind. It's not complicated. It's like a little switch, comes out. Everything's done for you. It is wonderful. It is nice and hefty.
I remember that one, yeah.
It's a nice tripod, right? But now they have tripods that are much more. I mean, they have tripods that are in the $3,000+ range.
Oh,
very
my
expensive. These things are made out of carbon
offensive.
fiber. Well, no, because listen, there's a lot of like travel photographers or like adventure type photographers who need to go out, mountains, right, where they're gone from civilization for weeks, and they have to carry
like
everything that they have on their backpack.
That you interviewed, who sits there and does time lapse for a day.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
That's nuts.
It's crazy. It's wonderful stuff, right? And so for him, he was going down to Mexico, right? He was backpacking from like Mexico down to Central America. So able to do that, you want to carry as little as possible. You want it to be as light as possible, so you can have a carbon fiber tripod, which is still like really well put together. The point is, this has gone on way too long about like features of tripods, but when it comes to buying photography stuff, like I mentioned, just the camera body, you're going to spend thousands of dollars on a camera body that you're going to have to buy a new one in just a few years. Whereas a tripod, buy it right once and you'll never have to worry about it again.
Okay, let me ask Nick's follow-up question.
Okay.
Is it worth buying a used great tripod, or should you just buy a brand new great tripod?
Oh, no. This is one of these things like lenses. I would have no problem buying a used tripod as long as it is in great condition, because tripods, I mean, sure, they might get a lot of use, but a lot of times they don't get as much use as people think that they do. I would have no problem buying a used tripod as long as you can get your hands on it first, make sure that everything works, and that it's, fully functional. Absolutely. Buy a used tripod. Save yourself some cash.
Well, there you go, Nick. Get that used tripod if you can. And share the podcast with your friends.
And share those
interested
photos
in tripods.
Yeah, right.
If they're not in tripods, don't worry about sharing the podcast.
And I'm sure Nick is going to be awesome and share those wonderful photos of stars that he took with his brand new tripod in the brand new Beginner Photography Podcast Facebook group. And again,
all right, relax. You're pushing a little hard.
Okay. If anybody, I don't care. If anybody wants to join, it's up to you. It's whatever. I don't mind. If you do, cool. If not, it's whatever. But if you do, just go ahead and head over to the Beginner Photography Podcast Facebook page and just shoot me a message. Ask how you can join, and I will send you the link right away. And you can be part of this awesome group and ask these same questions and get great answers quick.
That's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for listening. If you liked this episode, be sure to